I'm Ewan Duncan. I own Europa Music in Stirling. I had the shop now for 37 years. Hi. Yes, I was actually not properly in town until tea time on that day, and I was passing by the shop to go to the radio station around the corner, and it had been slightly wet, and I then went to DJ in the Stirling City Radio, and I heard this enormous clap of thunder.
I'm Gregor Forbes and I'm a digital media student here at Forth Valley College. I was working at Baxter Story, who do the catering for Stirling University. I was working in the Refresh Cafe at Willow Court. Well, things were going well for the day. We were just doing our usual thing of serving customers. The rain started to get gradually worse. It had been raining all day, but it started getting worse and worse as the evening went on.
The university was hit quite badly the night of the flash floods, and we're here in Pathfoot Building, which is the original university building from 1967. And this door here is where we think water came in and flooded past me and down the stairs into the crush hall. The water came mainly through the ceilings, and part of it came in through the door here. And you can see it's quite a long corridor, and a number of staff were affected. And what we've done here is we've had to renew all the flooring, replace ceilings, and as you see down this cross corridor, we also had water coming in from the ceilings and down, flooding into G corridor.
I was inside a studio inside the arcade, basically 3 barricades before any noise could get to me, and I could hear it from there. And then suddenly people were coming online saying, oh, there's this tremendous flood in Stirling. I was like, what? I then left the arcade just at the back of 8 o'clock and saw the water coming down the hill, just coming down Friar Street, and at that point in time the damage had been done. It had slightly abated by the time I came down, and there was no water actually going into, coming into the shop. But having seen what I saw latterly on video, and people having posted stuff up of people surfing down Friar Street, I then was very worried. So after my quiz night that night, I came back here and just saw the devastation. I opened the door and it was just muck and water everywhere. Luckily, the front shop, most of my stock was off the floor. However, I did my best to try and soak up stuff, but the water had ingressed more or less to the back of the shop. Well, there's nothing I could do, so deal with it in the morning. So I came back in the morning and I just shrugged my shoulders.
And you know, it became very noticeable, and you know, streaming down the windows and like through the cracks in the doors and things, there was water pouring in. But things seemed okay, things seemed under control until I came out into the main cafe area and noticed that there was water streaming down from one of the light fixtures down into where a lady was sitting eating her dinner. It quickly got worse from there. Water started pouring in down from the roof and started filling up on the floor. It caused damage to all sorts of stuff in the cafe. We quickly started sweeping water out the door, but there was more water spraying in through the doors. So it was a tough job to try and clean, but yeah, we basically tried to manage the water as best as we could. So across the whole campus, there was a ton of damage to both the accommodation and the catering areas. Most of the catering at Stirling Uni was closed for at least the next day, and we had to make backup reservations for people who were supposed to be eating there. yeah, it was a really, really rough night for a lot of people.
A lot of our buildings were affected, Cotterell in particular, the teaching areas. What happened was the water came off from the bus area and it formed like a bowl, and the into building was flooded, and then it went in again through the doors and into Cotterell, down the side of Cotterell next to RG Beaumont. We had a sinkhole. This is the heart of Pathfoot. We've got the main lecture theatre to the right and two large teaching rooms to left D1 and D3. And where we were standing was literally under 1.5 inches or more of water. And we have the art store here, which has a valuable collection of artefacts. And the water came up to the door and just got through, but not any further. Otherwise, we could have had a lot of damage to irreplaceable artwork. Well, this was, I think, a 1 in 314 year event, so hopefully it won't happen again for a while. One of the issues was the water fell in such a short period of time and in such quantities that it washed silt into the drains then backed up, and because of the drainage, the parapets and the roof formed a tank. Then the weight of the water then surcharged through the pipes, but the pipes are internal and the joints started bursting, which is why we got flooding all the way through a lot of the rooms. This is room D2, which is one of the digital media editing suites, I think, for postgrads. I made water coming in along this side of the wall, and it landed on top of only one of the workstations, fortunately. The water came in under the door, but what we have here is a raised floor, so there's a depth beneath the floor which filled up with water too. So this is a production studio. So the water came in through the ceiling, it came along the rails, it soaked these acoustic curtains. The water was literally, you could splash on all the carpeting here. So this room was really badly damaged and we had to get it all dried out. The contractor TRS worked really hard to reinstate this. So we've got new carpet, freshly painted walls, new ceilings, and it's as if it never happened.